Good evening. My name is Melissa. I am a speaker with Turning Point Survivor Speaker Bureau. I'm also a volunteer with Turning Point, and this past May I celebrated my 11th year working and serving with the organization. I have worked on the hotline, I've worked in the shelter as a resident advocate, and most recently I've been part of a team to help launch the book garden in the children's department at shelter, and I facilitate that weekly. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story with you today. Throughout my life, I've often heard people use the phrase, life is a journey, not a destination. I thought I knew what that meant, but looking back, I now know that I truly did not understand the meaning of that phrase. My life's journey has been about uncovering truths that although they were right in front of me, I could not see, and finding my voice when I once thought I was voiceless. I had reached many of my life goals and destinations. I earned my master's degree, I was successful in my career, I got married, I had 2 beautiful boys. Yet I felt alone, isolated, and voiceless in my marriage and in my own life. I felt dead inside, but I didn't understand why. There I was, almost 20 years into my marriage, and all the events of my life had reached a boiling point. To the outside world, my marriage probably appeared ordinary and uneventful. We went to church, hung out with friends and family, went to work, took care of our home and children. But behind closed doors, it was completely different. It was filled with fear, knowing that saying or doing the wrong thing would mean things being thrown, broken, and destroyed. It was trying to keep the peace to avoid hours and hours of explosive rants and hurtful, hateful words. It was trying to shield and protect my children from seeing and hearing the chaos that infiltrated our home. It was pretending that everything was okay when it really wasn't. It was years and years of walking on eggshells, never knowing when the next outburst was going to come. It was hiding and covering up the truth from friends, family, and even colleagues, so they never knew the shame that I felt. It was crying oceans of tears that no one ever saw. One hot and steamy summer day, my husband threatened me with a pair of scissors, a hammer, and a box cutter. I can't tell you exactly what was different about that day from any of the other previous days or incidents, but it proved to be the turning point in my life. The very next day, I left my marriage, my home, and my life behind, never to return again. My children and I were homeless for 10 weeks. I relied on food pantries to help feed my growing boys for weeks and months to come. And I never would have imagined that leaving my marriage, my home, and my life behind and starting over would be so difficult. I felt alone as friends and family deserted me, and I struggled to navigate the system to find help for myself and my boys. And yet, despite all of the hurdles and obstacles I encountered, I knew I was blessed. Yes, blessed. I had a decent job. I had reliable transportation. I had a few people in my corner. And if it was this hard for me, I couldn't even imagine how much harder it was for those who had less. How about those with no job, no transportation, no insurance, no family, no friends? How do they get by? How do they navigate the system? How do they make ends meet? This journey of mine has led me to a destination of living a violence-free life. But the work along the way has been difficult at best and brutal at its worst. A passion to help survivors began to ignite inside me, and I felt led to volunteer at Turning Point to work with survivors. Soon after, I felt called to share my story to educate others. And so here, I humbly stand before you today. I would have never imagined that my mess could be turned into a message, that my trials into a triumph, and this victim into a survivor. Worthiness is. We all are worthy of a violence-free life. My life is far from perfect now. My ducks are rarely in a row, and I struggle more than I ever let others know. But I have learned that light and goodness can shine through the broken pieces in each one of us. It is my hope that the broken pieces of my life can be a light that illuminates the path for other survivors. It is my hope that the broken pieces of my life will inspire others, such as you, to advocate for the rights of survivors and to support organizations like Turning Point. It is my hope to empower you to believe survivors when they share their story with you. Together, we can use the light and goodness that shines through each one of us to be a beacon for others to follow. Thank you.